doesn't say inflatable, but it says this other word. I can't think of a synonym for inflatable, but another word for inflatable, and that means a person of skill in the art, again, POSA, would know that that was inflatable. And so it's disclosing that. And it's disclosing that it's orange, even though it doesn't say orange. And it's disclosing that it's round, even though it doesn't say round. And so that's where you would come in. We would say the literal words aren't there, but can you explain to me in a way that I understand, keep in mind I have a history and philosophy background, and that the jurors are most likely going to have backgrounds that are not technical as well. Can you explain to me why this reference teaches round, inflatable, and orange? And so that's where you come in. It's kind of reading that reference from the prism of a person of skill in the art. And importantly, one thing you should recognize is that you're all probably not persons of skill in the art. Most of you are going to be persons of extraordinary skill in the art. And so that's actually something that you should recognize, that you'll want to, if you need to, kind of view this from, if you're a professor, from your student's perspective at that time. And that might not really change too much, but it is a trap to avoid when you're writing your expert report or getting deposed. Because if you come in and say, yeah, to me, this would have been obvious, and the opposing counsel gets you to say, oh, so you're viewing it from your perspective, someone with 35 plus years of experience or what have you, and you say yes, and the parties have agreed that the person of skill in the art is someone with 3 years of experience, you've kind of, you've caused a problem, because what would have been obvious to someone of extraordinary skill might not have been obvious to a person of ordinary skill. So this is always going to be through the prism of who's a person of ordinary skill. And you as the expert are typically going to be asked in your expert report to opine on what you think is a level of skill in the art. And there's, again, you get two sides of the equation. Someone on the defense side is going to want this person of skill in the art to be very educated, so that it's much easier to make those obviousness combinations we'll talk about. So the more educated our person of skill in the art is, the easier these combinations will be for them to do. Whereas the patent owner wants the person of skill in the art to be someone, doesn't know anything, essentially. And so that's why their inventor looks that much more brilliant for having come up with this idea. So you could kind of see, in a sense, when you get called up by an attorney and they say, I'm representing plaintiff or defendant, whichever side they're on, you can kind of already see half your expert report. Okay, we're on this side of it. So now I know this is kind of like the basic ideas of the inertia is going to be going towards these types of arguments.